Today we're going to be talking about natural stone veneer products. There's Angela, our lovely IT girl. And our objectives for the presentation today are going to be to give a thorough review of the product selection options that are available to you, provide an understanding of the various application types including product limitations, provide a list of product benefits for quick reference, and the primary objective throughout this whole training process is to become known to our clients as the stone specialist. Okay, so there's a couple of different veneer categories, and this is just basically our terminology. Maybe every other company uses different terms, but we use these words to describe certain products, so it's important that everybody's kind of on the same page when we talk about them. Okay, so the first thing that you'll hear us talk about is ledgestone. So basically, ledgestone is small pieces of stone adhered together into a panel, which looks like that. Okay. Then we have split face, which is just natural stone blocks, split, then cut to size and tumbled, which look like that. And then we have tile cut, thin veneer, which basically is like a tile but used vertically. You can have a polished, toned, any finish like that. I'm sure you guys have seen it before where somebody's tile on the floor and the same tile going up the walls. And that just looks like any other piece of tile. Okay, so for our ledgestone selections, we have Florida Sunset, and as you can see, it's a 6-inch by 24-inch panel, and that's a slate product, okay? So just to get an idea for the people that are in person, looks like this.
It's a neat look. What do you put it on?
You can put it on, we're going to go over that shortly.
Sorry.
You're jumping the gun on me a little bit there, but there's a variety of applications. You're going to slow down. You're a step ahead, as usual. Then we have brush and gold, which is also, all the panels are going to be 6 by 24 that we talked about today. That's also slate. And then midnight gold, which is the color I just showed you. Now, for each of the colors, there's different types of corners, okay? So we have the left, yes. So the main one has a 6 by 6 return and a 6-inch by 18-inch full corner. So we call those full corner pieces. And then the one in the middle is your Russian gold, and that's just 6 by 6 on both sides. Okay, so no, there's no 6 by 18 option for the Russian gold. It's only in the 6 by 6 corner. Okay, so if you buy Russian gold, you want the matching corner, that's your corner piece. It's also good to know the Russian gold piece has a little less depth and body than the other two options. So if you take a look at this one, see the thickness of this? The Russian gold is probably about half of that. Okay, and the reason that they do that is because people want to use these for backsplashes, and when there's too much depth to the pieces, it's hard to clean and get in there for backsplash. Then we have Golden Sunrise, Honeydew, Green Cream. And then you have the same situation. So the one in the middle, the Honeydew product, is 6 by 6 only. That's the only corner type available on that. Any questions on these things and the corner differences and things like that? No. Okay, so everybody knows the corners are per color. Okay, so this is something that comes up a lot when people are ordering the product, so it's important for everybody to understand. Okay, so if we want to purchase enough ledgestone to cover the wall we have here, how many square feet would we need? RJ?
I do not know the answer to these questions ever. 80 square feet?
That is correct. Look
Thank
at
God
that.
you didn't ask me linear. Just okay.
We're going to get there. Don't worry.
Ask somebody else.
Okay, so 80 square feet. Simple, right? We just want to buy veneer, flat wall, no corners, 80 square feet. Okay, then we get into this situation. So I want to purchase enough ledgestone to cover this wall, but I need to use corners on the left and the right side. How many square feet of Florida Sunset panels do I need, and how many linear feet of corners would I need? Okay, so let's walk through how we do this mathematical equation, okay? Basically, you start off by calculating the total area of the surface, which RJ's already told us is 80 square feet. Once we get that, we have to subtract 1 square foot per linear foot of wall height per side, okay? So the wall is how high, Darren?
8 feet.
8 feet. And how many sides are we how many sides are we doing corners on?
There's 2 sides.
Right, so we have a total of 16 feet that we're subtracting out. Okay, so we have 80 square feet minus 16 square feet we only have to buy 64 square feet of flats now. Okay, and then we need to buy, which I have this little thing blocking my answers here, and then we need to buy 16 linear feet of corners. Okay, so the reason that's important is because we don't want our customers to overbuy material that they don't need, okay, because it's going to affect their price. When you look at the corner pricing, it's going to seem expensive. If you think of, I'm just doing a corner, but you're actually covering area of the wall as well, so it offsets. Does that make sense to everybody? So here's just some different application types. RJ?
Yep.
Walls, columns, you can see some columns in the back there.
As soon as she held it up, I knew what it was for.
Around a fireplace.
Yeah.
You're being
No, I have a buddy that lives over in Bay Colony that has a waterfall from the top floor to the bottom floor, and that's what he has on there. It just took me a while to figure it out.
Okay. But you can also use it for columns.
It's really cool.
Risers like this, or step risers and things like that as well. So how do they do that, right? So we look at this panel and we think, how could we possibly use it for something that has a round or a radius? So what they typically do in these type of situations is they would break the pieces apart and install them individually. Okay, so I know there's a lot of pictures in our catalog and in our online, and on our website that show things like this. So I wanted to make sure everybody understood. They weren't somehow magically bending this panel. Okay, then we have our split face selections, which you can see on our walnut gold Oxford Tahoe Pearl Ice.
Why is it called split face?
I'm going to explain in a second.
Okay.
But do we know what these colors match? What do they match, Darren?
The deck material.
Our papers, exactly, right? So you can make nice complementary vertical applications. Now the reason it's called split face is because it's like split, it's literally split in half, and that's the face of the stone. So it has a split face stone. Make sense? No? Yes? Okay. Now what we do different than a lot of other people might do, and this is important to know, is we tumble it after we split it. Okay, so other suppliers might provide a split face product and maybe it's slightly less expensive, and one of the main reasons for that is they're not going through the tumbling process. The tumbling process, you incur breakage, which incurs price increase. So that's something good to know. Everybody hear that part about tumbling? Yes? So why would our product be slightly more expensive than another person's split face?
Because they tumble.
Say it loud so the camera can
And
hear
you have to deal with breakage.
There you go, because we're tumbling it, a whole other process. And why would we tumble it? David?
Gives it a better look.
But what else? What's the technical reason when you're looking at it? Why would you not want a straight edge on this?
You don't like it.
You explain it every day to people. Basically, they don't meet up evenly, and it winds up giving a very like offset look. Okay. And then for this, we have some other application pictures. Now, what's nice about the split face versus the ledge stone is it has a much softer surface. Has a much softer surface. If you guys will stop, you come up here and do this. So people can use it for applications like this, where your legs might bang into it and things like that. If you put the ledge stone on an application like this, some of these edges are sharp. So it's not necessarily the most wise decision. So the split face is nice for that reason. Some water features. And then you have a raised spa as well. The other thing that split face can work well for are those radius type applications that we saw earlier that the ledge was used for. And then we have the tile cut thin veneer, which is available through us in travertine, marble, coral stone, granite, which is basically all the same types of stone that we use for our paver products. This is actually a Walgreens up in West Palm Beach. This is the pearl product, tumbled, installed along the whole exterior of the building. And then this was a restaurant up in New Jersey, actually, where you can see the walnut product installed on the columns going straight up and down. And then they have the ledgestone veneer along the bottom there. Okay, so some of the benefits to this product versus, let's say, a manufactured stone product would be it's long lasting, the color never fades on it.
It's not sealed or anything, is it?
No, it's not sealed. You can seal it though, but you don't have to.
But it won't, the color will never fade no matter what.
Correct.
without the.
It's just like having a rock sitting outside your home. You just put a rock out there, nothing's gonna happen to the rock, nothing happens to this either. Prolonged water exposure will not damage the stone. So like you saw the water feature there with the water coming over it, that's acceptable for this type of product. If you had a man-made product, you wouldn't be able to use it for that type of application. It has a very competitive price point to manufactured stone. Easy to install, and I don't like to use the terminology, but this is what they call it the lick and stick method. Okay, so basically it's like do-it-yourselfers can do it. It's supposed to be the easiest way to install stone. I've actually had customers say they glue it up there. Not recommended, but it's supposed to be very easy to install. And it just adds additional value to the home overall. And that's it for today. Any questions? Pretty quick and easy.
Pretty quick and